What's good, my lady, mate? Welcome back to another lovely, beautiful, sexy, amazing video with the equally lovely, equally beautiful, equally sexy, and equally amazing LiTTyENT. I already know what time it is. Now let's go. Now guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about why we don't see any more UK rap, quote-unquote, feel-good songs. And of course, we're going to break this down in way more detail. But you know what you got to do. You just got to like, comment, subscribe, up to date, drop a banger like this one. And hit that note, because you're in it. So you can be the first to know when one of these videos comes out. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, the title and idea of this video was sparked from a post from the IG account called Made You Think, where he posted the song Beat It by Chris Brown, Sean Kingston and Wiz Khalifa. And he posed the question, why don't we have any feel-good collabs like this anymore in the UK? And to be honest, it really did get me thinking that he's kind of right. We haven't really seen any quote-unquote feel-good songs in the UK in a very long time. And of course, before we dive deeper into this topic, I think it's only right to give you a working definition for what a feel-good tune is, and I think this one on Google describes it perfectly. Feel-good music has a profound impact on our brains and emotions, eliciting feelings of pleasure, happiness, and well-being. And I think it's also good to provide some examples of these songs as well. So I classify songs like Hardy Caprio's Best Life, that Simba Rover song, Western's Into. Songs like that I would consider quote-unquote feel-good songs. Now, I think there's three main reasons why we don't see these types of songs anymore. Firstly, and I think this is the most important, the UK will not allow multiple genres to thrive at once. And what do I mean by this? If we look at America, for example, even if we look at the artist on the song in question, the Beat It song, you've got Wiz Khalifa, who's like a pop rapper, Chris Brown, who's an R&B singer, and then Sean Kingston, who's like pop / R&B. So in this song alone, you've got about 4 different genres coming together to create a smash hit. Whereas if we look at the UK, a lot of the feel-good songs that I've mentioned, they all kind of fall into the same sort of Afro swing category, more or less. So what I'm trying to say is that, like, in America, there's a lot more music lanes for people to head down. You know, you can have your R&B, you can have your conscious rap, you can have your street rap, and you can have your melodic rap. You can have all these subgenres working in tandem so that when it's time to make a feel-good collab, you can have all of these options to choose from. Whereas in the UK, because there's less room for these separate genres to flourish as much, people are kind of only going to stick to what they know, and basically what they know right now is drill, and quite difficult to make a feel-good song with drill. Not impossible, but quite difficult. When the songs that I mentioned came out, the dominant genre was of course Afro swing, and it's a lot easier to make an Afro swing feel-good song than it is to make a drill one. So that is essentially what has left us in the state that we're in. All the new and upcoming artists that want to get on and want to be successful, they're chasing the sound that they've seen have success previously, and right now that's not the feel-good Afro swing music. That's more so about talking about how they chased down their ops last week and things of that nature. So, and of course, the reason why I initially mentioned all the other subgenres working in tandem is that in order to replicate, not only replicate a feel-good anthem, but replicate the success of a feel-good anthem like Beat It, it would need to be a UK R&B artist, let's say, jumping on a song with a popular UK rapper. And as I mentioned before, the UK is not big enough to allow these markets to thrive at the same time, unfortunately. Like, I don't see a world where UK R&B and UK rap are both thriving at the same time. I feel like that only sort of ever happens when there's a little merger between the two, which is, you know, how we've ended up with the Afro swing era with the likes of Kojo Funds and J Hush, you know, trying to blur the lines with their melodic anthems. And don't get me wrong, UK R&B it's still here. You know, we've still got people like Nipper who make feel-good anthems like that F&F song. Would definitely recommend you check that out. But I mean, when UK R&B is at a point where it's dominating the charts, how UK rap has been, where they're fighting for top 10s against each other, I'm just not sure that we'll ever get to that point, or at least not for a good couple years. So to summarize that point, I just think with the way the UK urban scene is set up currently is they have a genre, they stick to it for a bit, and then they move on. And right now, we're in the drill era. Don't get me wrong, that is starting to dry up, but we're still in the drill era. And in the drill era, making a feel-good song like Beat It, it just don't happen. The closest you'd probably get to someone doing that is Russ. And Russ is still not even the man that he once was in terms of the music thing. So I'm just saying. A second reason for this, and of course, this might sound a bit mundane or a bit like, well, duh, but of course, it's the weather in the UK. And I know this sounds very stupid. It sounds like a dumb reason, but it is the unfortunate truth. Songs like this Beat It song, they just don't hit the same in a country that's always freezing and always raining and you're always wearing your coat. Like, these songs just don't hit the same. Whether we like it or not, pathetic fallacy is real. There's a reason why people in the UK wait for summer for so long, why the whole idea of having a quote-unquote song of the summer is a real thing. You never hear people saying the song of the winter or the song of spring. Like, that just don't happen. And the reason why it doesn't happen is because there's no better time to feel good than in summer. And all summer really is hot weather, let's be real. Now, luckily, places like America have that in abundance in multiple states, so songs like this Beat It song could pretty much be dropped throughout the majority of the year and still pop off because of how good the weather is in most of these places. Whereas in the UK, if people were to start making songs like this, they would kind of be waiting to drop them in the summertime. Like, there's always this idea in the UK that they're waiting for UK artists to come with a summer banger. You know, every year we see the infamous tweet that says, I need Hardy Caprio and One Ace to come back with another summer banger. Like, people are still riding high on that 2018 summer when Best Life was released. And unfortunately, in a country where the sun is only out for 2 weeks in the year at best, operating on that premise to sell your music is unfortunately a very bad business model, which I think is another thing that's contributed to why you don't see UK artists dropping these kind of feel-good records too tough anymore. And if they do, they're waiting till summer to drop it. And as I said, you're not really going to see a lot of records dropping if everyone's just waiting for 2 months out of the year to drop these type of records. The final reason why this has happened, and I think it sort of links to my first point as well, is that I feel like the industry and labels do kind of have a part to play in this as well. We are, of course, now in an era where labels are no longer investing in artists strictly based on their talent. They're more so interested in investing in people based off their numbers, you know, how many followers they're able to gain on social media, how many likes their song snippet is going to get on TikTok and things of that nature. Therefore, the really talented people who are out there in the UK who could make bangers like this, if given the right platforming, would be getting overlooked by labels for individuals who are like these like wannabe rappers and wannabe singers. And I mean, Young Philly had one of the biggest UK songs of this year, so that should tell you everything you need to know about how the music industry in the UK is working at the moment. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes that works and you get like a Wes Nelson when he made that tune with Hardy Caprio, which people seem to like. Me personally, I didn't really care for it, but I don't care, I don't care. Sometimes you get a Wes Nelson and sometimes you get a Young Philly, so just take your pick, whichever one you can stand more. But yeah, the UK industry is just not big enough to allow for influencers to turn into artists, as well as having actual talented people become artists as well. There's just not enough market share to go around, unfortunately. If it was America, different story. Everyone can eat in America, but in the UK, it just doesn't work the same way, unfortunately. But in the words of Heady One,
it's a bit of a sticky one still.
But let me know if you mind in the comment section down below. What do you think for my reasoning as to why we don't have any more feel-good songs in the UK? I know there's going to be some goofy goobers in the comment section who are going to put in, oh, but this counts as a feel-good song, but this counts as a feel-good song. I'm pretty sure whatever examples that you put in there are either A, going to be not within the same genre as the Beat It song, B, are going to be songs that no one's ever heard of before, or C, is going to be some song that came out like 5 years ago, bro. I'm not talking about these songs that came out 5 years ago. I'm talking about recent songs that have come out. 2024 to 2023 is kind of pushing it. Really, we were talking about 2024 because we're at the end of 2024. Why are we not seeing these songs anymore is the point. I don't want to see people putting in J Hus Did You See and saying this is a feel-good song. Bro, that was 7 years ago. Nearly 8 years ago. Like, come on, we can't keep riding on our past highs. Pause. So if you do have an example, please make sure it doesn't fall into any of those categories and pop it in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 3,000 subs. You know what time it is. You can follow my personal IG at LiTTyENT. If you care about what I do, I'm not making these bangers for you. I post updates on Twitter as well, so you might as well follow me on there, because what else you do for life? Absolutely nothing, mate. I bet. Peace.
Oh, you ain't know I could sing.